TV show title, America, The Story of U.S., Season 1, Episode 2, Revolution. Revolution is the second episode of the first season of History Channel's America, The Story of U.S. series. It covers the events leading up to the American Revolution, the conflict itself, and its immediate aftermath. The episode emphasizes the factors that led to the rebellion against British rule, key battles and personalities of the Revolutionary War, and the challenges faced by the new nation. 1. Background and causes of the Revolution. The episode begins by discussing the growing discontent among the American colonists due to British taxation and attempts to exert control over the colonies. It outlines various factors that contributed to the colonists' desire for independence, including the economic impact of British taxation policies. Acts such as the Stamp Act, Sugar Act, and Townshend Acts imposed taxes on items like printed materials, sugar, and imported goods, causing financial hardships for many colonists. B. Influence of Enlightenment ideals. The writings of thinkers like John Locke and Jean-Jacques Rousseau promoted ideas about individual rights and the consent of the governed, inspiring many colonists to challenge the British monarchy's authority. C. Desire for political representation. Colonists were frustrated with their lack of representation in the British Parliament, leading to the rallying cry, "No taxation without representation." The Boston Massacre of 1770, where 5 colonists were killed by British soldiers, is presented as a crucial event that further fueled resentment towards the British. 2. The Boston Tea Party. The episode then moves to the Boston Tea Party of 1773, a pivotal event in American history. It explains how colonists, disguised as Native Americans, boarded 3 British ships in the Boston harbor and threw over 340 chests of tea into the water to protest the Tea Act. The Tea Act, which allowed the British East India Company to sell tea directly to the colonists at a lower price, threatened to undermine colonial merchants. This act of defiance marked the beginning of organized resistance against British rule. 3. The First Continental Congress. The episode delves into the First Continental Congress, which convened in 1774 as a response to the British government's increasingly aggressive actions, such as the Intolerable Acts. These acts included the closure of the Boston Harbor and the imposition of martial law in Massachusetts. The delegates from 12 of the 13 colonies met in Philadelphia to discuss their grievances and plan a united course of action. The Congress adopted the Declaration of Rights and Grievances, asserting the colonies' rights and denouncing British policies. Although not all delegates were in favor of independence at this point, the Congress laid the groundwork for a united colonial response. 4. The Battles of Lexington and Concord. The episode covers the first military engagements of the Revolutionary War, the Battles of Lexington and Concord. On April 19, 1775, British troops marched from Boston to confiscate colonial weapons stored in Concord. However, American militiamen, known as Minutemen, were alerted to their approach and confronted the British at Lexington, resulting in the "shot heard" round the world. The British then proceeded to Concord but were met with stiff resistance, forcing them to retreat back to Boston. These battles marked the beginning of the armed conflict between the British and the American colonists. 5. The Second Continental Congress and the Declaration of Independence. The episode highlights the Second Continental Congress, which convened in May 1775 after the outbreak of hostilities. The Congress established the Continental Army, appointed George Washington as its commander, and managed the war effort. It also oversaw the drafting of the Declaration of Independence, which was adopted on July 4, 1776. The episode discusses the significance of the document, which asserted the colony's right to self-determination and listed the grievances against King George III. Key figures in the drafting process, such as Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, and Benjamin Franklin, are also highlighted for their contributions to the document's creation. 6. Key battles and turning points of the Revolutionary War. The episode recounts several key battles and turning points of the Revolutionary War, emphasizing their significance in shaping the conflict's outcome. At the Battle of Bunker Hill, 1775, though technically a British victory, the colonists inflicted heavy casualties on the British forces, demonstrating their resolve to fight for independence. The battle also popularized the phrase, "Don't fire until you see the whites of their eyes," which underscored the colonists' resourcefulness in the face of limited supplies. B. The Battle of Trenton, 1776. A surprise attack led by George Washington on the Hessian forces in Trenton, New Jersey, provided a much-needed morale boost for the Continental Army. The daring crossing of the Delaware River on Christmas night and the subsequent victory showcased Washington's leadership and strategic acumen. C. The Battle of Saratoga, 1777. The American victory in Saratoga, New York, convinced the French to enter the war on the side of the colonists, providing crucial military and financial support. The involvement of foreign powers, such as France and Spain, significantly altered the course of the war and increased pressure on the British. D. The Valley Forge encampment, 1777–1778. During the harsh winter of 1777–1778, the Continental Army faced severe shortages of food, clothing, and supplies at their encampment in Valley Forge, Pennsylvania. Despite the challenging conditions, the army emerged stronger and better trained, thanks in part to the efforts of Baron von Steuben, a Prussian officer who helped improve military discipline and organization. E. The Battle of Yorktown, 1781. The final major battle of the war, in which the combined forces of the Continental Army and the French Army, led by George Washington and French General Rochambeau, surrounded and forced the surrender of British General Lord Cornwallis' army. This effectively ended the Revolutionary War and paved the way for the Treaty of Paris. 7. Treaty of Paris. The episode explains the significance of the Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783. The treaty formally recognized the United States as an independent nation and established the boundaries between the new country and British North America. It also stipulated that the British would withdraw their remaining troops from American territory. The end of the war marked the beginning of a new era for the United States, as it sought to create a stable government and a prosperous future. 8. The formation of a new government and the challenges faced by the young nation. The episode briefly touches upon the formation of the new government following the war, including the drafting of the Articles of Confederation and the eventual adoption of the United States Constitution. It highlights the challenges faced by the fledgling nation, such as establishing a stable government. The Articles of Confederation created a weak central government with limited powers, leading to issues like currency instability and difficulty raising revenue. The adoption of the Constitution in 1787 established a stronger federal government, addressing many of these problems. B. Balancing states' rights and federal power. The debate between Federalists and D. Anti-Federalists during the drafting of the Constitution highlighted the struggle to find a balance between preserving states' rights and creating a strong central government. C. Foreign relations. The new nation faced challenges in navigating its relationships with European powers, particularly with the ongoing conflicts between Britain, France, and Spain. In summary, Revolution, the second episode of America, the Story of U.S., provides an in-depth account of the events leading up to the American Revolution, the war itself, and its aftermath. The episode emphasizes the factors that led to the rebellion against British rule, key battles and personalities of the Revolutionary War, and the challenges faced by the young nation as it sought to build a strong and prosperous future. By showcasing pivotal events, influential figures, and the complexities of the struggle for independence, the episode offers viewers a comprehensive understanding of the American Revolution and its enduring impact on the United States.